Your cat is scratching right now. Maybe not this exact second, but somewhere today, she dragged her claw across her neck, or he chewed at his back leg until the fur looked thin. You probably brushed it off. Cats scratch, it's normal. But here's what almost nobody tells you. If your cat is scratching more than a few times a day, licking one spot over and over, or waking you up at 3 a.m. because they're gnawing at their skin, something is actually bothering them. And in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you one simple kitchen ingredient that thousands of cat owners are now keeping right next to the food bowl because it's quietly become one of the easiest ways to calm irritated, itchy skin. It's not a prescription, it's not expensive, and there's a good chance it's already sitting in your pantry. Before we get into it, if you love your cat as much as I love mine, do me a quick favor and hit that subscribe button and tap the like button too. It genuinely helps this channel keep making videos like this one, ones that actually help your pet feel better instead of just entertaining you for 5 minutes and disappearing, okay? Good. Now let's talk about your cat's skin, because there's more going on under that fur than you'd think. Cats are experts at hiding discomfort. It's built into their instincts. In the wild, an animal that shows weakness becomes a target, so cats have learned over thousands of years to mask pain and irritation as long as they possibly can. That's exactly why owners are often the last to notice something is wrong. You might just see your cat scratching a little more than usual and think nothing of it. But underneath that calm, independent exterior, your cat's skin might be dry, inflamed, or fighting off something as simple as seasonal dryness, or something a little more stubborn, like a mild allergic reaction to food, dust, or even a new laundry detergent you started using. Think about it this way. Have you ever had dry skin in the winter? That tight, itchy feeling on your hands or your elbows that makes you want to scratch, even though you know it won't really help? Cats get that too, except they can't reach for lotion. They can't tell you it's bothering them. All they can do is scratch, lick, chew, and hope it goes away on its own. And a lot of the time, it doesn't. It gets worse. Bald patches start to show up. The skin turns red. Sometimes you'll even notice little scabs from where they've scratched too hard. At that point, most owners panic and rush to the vet, spend a small fortune, and walk out with a cream that barely gets used because the cat hates it. So let's rewind. What if there was something simpler you could try first? Something natural, something gentle, something that's been used by cat owners and even some holistic vets for years to help soothe skin from the inside and the outside. That's where coconut oil comes in. Now, I want to be honest with you, because I'm not here to sell you a miracle. Coconut oil is not medicine. It's not going to cure a serious skin infection. And it's definitely not a replacement for a vet if your cat's skin problem is severe, spreading fast, or clearly causing them real pain. If you see open wounds, bleeding, hair loss that's spreading rapidly, or your cat seems miserable, please take them to a vet. This video is not meant to replace that. What coconut oil can do, though, is act as a gentle, natural support for mild itching, dry skin, and everyday coat health. The kind of low-level irritation that so many cats deal with quietly, day after day, without their owners ever realizing there's an easy way to help. Here's why coconut oil has become such a popular choice among cat owners over the last few years. Coconut oil is rich in something called medium-chain fatty acids, and one of the most talked about of these is lauric acid. These fatty acids have natural moisturizing properties, and when used correctly, they can help support the skin barrier, the outer layer of skin that's responsible for locking in moisture and keeping irritants out. When a cat's skin is dry or the barrier is a little weak, that's often when itching starts. By gently supporting that barrier, coconut oil may help calm things down over time. There's also something else coconut oil is known for, and this is the part a lot of people don't realize. It has natural antimicrobial properties. That means it may help discourage the growth of certain bacteria and yeast on the skin's surface, the kind of overgrowth that can sometimes make itching worse. Now, I want to be careful here and not overstate this. Coconut oil isn't an antibiotic, and it isn't going to treat an infection that's already taken hold. But as a gentle daily addition, some owners have found it helps keep their cat's skin environment a little more balanced. Let me tell you about a cat named Milo. Milo is an orange tabby about 4 years old, and his owner reached out with a story that honestly a lot of you watching this might relate to. Milo had started scratching around his neck and shoulders constantly. His owner tried changing his food, thinking maybe it was an allergy. She switched shampoos. She even bought one of those cone collars to stop him from scratching so much, which if you've ever put a cone on a cat, you know how much they hate that thing. Nothing seemed to fully fix it, A friend suggested trying a small amount of coconut oil mixed into his food daily, along with rubbing a tiny bit onto the dry patches on his skin. Within about 2 to 3 weeks, Milo's owner noticed his coat looked shinier, the redness around his neck had calmed down, and he wasn't scratching nearly as much during the day. Was it an overnight miracle? No. But it was steady, gentle improvement, the kind that actually lasts, because it was supporting his skin instead of just masking the symptom for a few hours. That brings me to something important I need you to understand, because this is where a lot of cat owners get it wrong. Anything that claims to stop itching instantly, like some magic switch flips the second it touches your cat's skin, should honestly make you a little suspicious. Real skin health doesn't work that way, not for humans, and not for cats either. What coconut oil offers isn't an instant fix. It's a gentle, natural tool that used consistently over days and weeks can genuinely support healthier skin and a calmer, less itchy cat. And honestly, that's so much better than a fake instant fix because it actually gets to the root of dry, irritated skin instead of just numbing it for a moment. Now let's talk about how to actually use it, because doing this the right way matters a lot. You do not want to just scoop out a big spoonful and slather it all over your cat or dump it in their food bowl. Cats have sensitive stomachs, and coconut oil is still a fat. Too much, too fast, can cause loose stools or an upset tummy, and that defeats the whole purpose. Start small. We're talking about something like 1/8 of a teaspoon mixed into their regular food, maybe 2 or 3 times a week to start. Watch how your cat responds over the first week. If their stomach seems fine, no vomiting, no diarrhea, no refusing their food, you can slowly work up to about 1/4 teaspoon a few times a week. Some owners eventually get to about 1/2 teaspoon for larger cats, but that's really the upper range. And honestly, less is usually more here. This isn't a the more you use, the faster it works situation. Consistency in small amounts beats a big dose every single time. You can also apply a very small amount directly onto dry or itchy patches of skin, especially if your cat has a spot they keep scratching. Just a tiny bit rubbed gently between your fingers first, so it melts slightly, and then worked into that specific area. Cats groom themselves constantly, so don't be surprised if they lick some of it off. That's actually fine in small amounts, since coconut oil is safe for cats to ingest in these small quantities. Just don't apply so much that it's dripping or making their fur greasy and matted, because then you're just creating a mess and, honestly, an annoyed cat. One more thing that's really important. Not all coconut oil is created equal. You want unrefined virgin coconut oil, the kind that hasn't been through heavy processing or had chemicals used to extract it. Refined coconut oil often loses a lot of the natural compounds that actually make it beneficial in the first place. So when you're picking a jar off the shelf, look for the words virgin or unrefined on the label. It usually costs just a little more, but you're using such a small amount that one jar will last you months anyway. Now I know some of you watching are thinking, my cat won't eat anything if it smells or tastes different. And look, that's a fair concern. Some cats are incredibly picky. What a lot of owners do is start by mixing an extremely tiny amount into wet food, since the texture and other smells help mask it. Once your cat gets used to the taste, which usually happens faster than people expect because coconut oil actually smells pretty mild and slightly sweet, you can adjust the amount as needed. If your cat absolutely refuses no matter what you try, don't force it. Skin support should never turn into a stressful daily battle. There are other ways to help, which I'll touch on in a moment. Let's pause here for a second because I want to talk about something a lot of cat owners overlook completely. And it's just as important as anything I've said so far. Itching in cats isn't always about dry skin. Sometimes it's fleas. And I'm not talking about the obvious flea infestation where you can see them crawling around. I'm talking about just 1 or 2 fleas that bite occasionally cause a mild allergic reaction and then hide so well you never actually spot them. If your cat is scratching a lot, especially around the base of the tail, neck, or head, it's worth doing a proper flea check or asking your vet about it before assuming it's purely a dry skin issue. Coconut oil can support skin health, but it's not a flea treatment, and I don't want anyone here thinking it replaces proper flea prevention. Used together, though, a lot of owners find their cat's overall comfort improves significantly. Food allergies are another big piece of this puzzle. Some cats develop sensitivities to certain proteins or ingredients in their regular diet, and the skin is often the first place that shows up, through itching, redness, or even small bumps. If you've tried coconut oil consistently for a few weeks, and you're just not seeing any real improvement, that's actually useful information. It might be a sign that something in the diet needs a closer look. And that's a great conversation to have with your vet, armed with the fact that you've already tried a gentle, natural approach first. I also want to mention something that surprises a lot of people. Stress can cause cats to overgroom and scratch too. Cats are creatures of habit, and something as simple as moving furniture around, a new pet in the house, a change in your work schedule, or even loud construction noise outside can trigger stress-related grooming that looks a lot like a skin problem, but isn't really about the skin at all. If your cat's itching started around the same time as some kind of change in the household, that's worth thinking about too. In cases like this, coconut oil can still help soothe any skin irritation that's developed from the excessive grooming, but addressing the root stress is just as important. Let's circle back to Milo for a second because there's a detail in his story that I think really matters. His owner didn't just add coconut oil and call it done. She paired it with a proper flea check, made sure his food was high quality, and kept an eye on his environment for anything stressful. The coconut oil was one piece of a bigger picture, not a standalone miracle cure. And that's honestly the mindset I want you to walk away with today. Your cat's skin health is like a puzzle, and coconut oil can be one really helpful piece, especially for everyday dryness and mild itching. But it works best when you're also paying attention to diet, parasites, and your cat's overall environment. Now, are there cats who shouldn't have coconut oil at all? Yes, and this is important. If your cat has a history of pancreatitis, is significantly overweight, or has any kind of condition where fat intake needs to be carefully managed, please talk to your vet before adding coconut oil to their diet. Every cat is different, and what works beautifully for one cat isn't automatically right for another. A quick conversation with your vet, especially if your cat has any existing health conditions, is always worth the 5 minutes it takes. If you've made it this far into the video, I really appreciate you sticking around because that tells me you actually care about doing right by your cat, not just looking for a quick fix. And that's exactly the kind of pet owner this channel is made for. If this video has helped you even a little bit, drop a comment down below and let me know how your cat is doing, or if you've tried coconut oil before, share your own experience. I read every single comment, and honestly, hearing real stories from real cat owners is one of my favorite parts of making these videos. And if you know someone else whose cat has been dealing with itchy, irritated skin, do them a favor and share this video with them. It might save them a stressful, expensive trip to the vet for something that could be helped with a simple change at home. Before we wrap up, let's do a quick recap so you walk away with everything you need. Start small, 1/8 to 1/4 teaspoon of unrefined virgin coconut oil, mixed into your cat's food a few times a week, working up gradually if their stomach handles it well. You can also apply a tiny amount directly to dry, irritated patches of skin. Be patient. This is about steady support over weeks, not an overnight fix. Keep an eye out for other causes of itching too, like fleas, food sensitivities, or stress, because coconut oil works best as part of the full picture, not a standalone cure. And always loop in your vet, especially if your cat has any existing health conditions, or if the itching seems severe, is spreading, or just isn't improving. At the end of the day, our cats can't tell us when something's bothering them. They just quietly deal with it day after day until we notice. And the fact that you're here, watching this, learning about something as simple as coconut oil, means you're exactly the kind of owner who pays attention. That matters more than any product ever could. Thank you so much for watching all the way through. If you found this helpful, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss the next video, because we've got more simple, natural tips coming for keeping your cat happy and healthy without breaking the bank or turning every little issue into a stressful vet visit. Give your cat a scratch behind the ears for me, and I'll see you in the next one.